Once again, we have to wait for the stream to catch up before we actually begin. I shall make sure that the chat is actually working. There it is. It is indeed working. It's taking a little longer than usual. And hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and welcome to the watch party predictions for SummerSlam 24, all the way from Cleveland. So, as I've already set up my 6 winners. I believe it's going to be Chung Lee, Jamie, M. Bison, E. Honda, Blanca, and Robocop. Well, that's it for this live stream, folks. I really hope you all enjoyed. No, but let's actually seriously get into the actual predictions for a change. If I actually live very quickly. There we are. Let's see if that gets anyone excited. Oh, one person says, Little Tree says, "What's up, YouTube?" Oh, Eco Smake, he says, "Ayo's the Grand Cat." Hello there, indeed. We're just simply waiting for a couple more people to show up to the chat. Yogi says, "What's good, YouTube?" No Mercy 88 says, "Rate my picks." Little Trey says, "YouTube, who got more cake, liver, Rhea?" Oh my goodness. What a question. Well, poor old Luchador seems to think it's Mammy. Okay, let's go back to the actual predictions now, shall we? Okay, we are now ready, now that we've wasted a little bit of time there. So, Tamil Gaming says hi. Hello, welcome. So we have 7 matches booked for this SummerSlam 2024. We have, apparently the first match is going to be Damian Priest versus Gunther in a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Bayley against, well, that was Damian Priest against Gunther, who's the king of the ring. And we have Bayley versus Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. And Nia Jax, of course, got this title match by winning the Queen of the Ring. We have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title in a very heated rivalry involving Dominic Mysterio. We have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, the new bloodline, for the undisputed WWE Championship. I noticed that they've dropped the Universal, so it's no longer the UWU Championship, it's no longer the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, it's just the undisputed WWE Championship. Then we have Logan Paul versus LA Knight in Logan Paul's hometown of Cleveland for the United States Championship. We have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker in a singles match for the Intercontinental Championship. And then we have what is apparently the main event, CM Punk versus DM Hunk in a single match, of which Seth freaking Rollins will be the special guest referee. So, we have a lot to talk about here. Of course, the predictions that I have up are not the actual ones. Corn Cobb says, "Rip Uwu Championship." Big Boss Man says, "Dominic Custody Battle Round 2 fight." It is indeed. But let's go over one by one who I think is going to win and why. So Damian Priest versus Gunther. A lot of people seem to think that it's now Gunther's time to win the World Heavyweight title. But I think if they're going to try and make Damian Priest credible, he needs at least one solid win with no shenanigans and no cheating involved, no interference, because every single one of Damian Priest's title matches have all had someone interfere, and it looked like Damien Priest was going to lose if it hadn't been for said interference. And it's happened time and time again, and I think Damien Priest needs to win one, especially with current storyline that he's in against Gunther, where Gunther is talking down to him, saying that he is street trash, is the way that Gunther says it. And I really think that they need to give Damien Priest the win on this one. I think it makes sense because if Gunther just wins the belt in the very first title match he's got, it's David says if Robocop wins, we all win. He is the savior of Detroit. But the next pay-per-view is the Bash at Berlin, and I could see Gunther winning the World Heavyweight title in Berlin instead of at SummerSlam, and I think this might be the point where Damien Priest has to actually defend the belt, like just once, and then the rematch he can lose the belt. And I think Gunther's going to hold the belt for a decade. Like the same way that he did with the Intercontinental Championship, the same way he did with the NXT UK Championship, he just holds it for literally years and no one else gets to touch it. So I think that's maybe what's going to happen with Gunther. So I'm going to put my money on Damien Priest retaining at SummerSlam. It's a controversial pick for the first match, but I think it's what is going to happen. Also, there's 7 matches here. 6 of them are title matches, and the main event is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, which is not a title match. Oh, you appeared. 109 Eok Smiki. It says, the Grand Cat, I was Eosmiki guy in the chat in W Supercards. You were indeed. I saw you. I read out some of your comments. Congratulations. Oh, you've made it from the chat to the actual real stream. That is very, very cool. I've not seen many people do that. That is very awesome of you. Now, if you could click that like button and become a member of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet, I would very much appreciate it. Cody Rhodes says, yo, I was Lil Trey. Oh, were you? I didn't realise, Cody. That's very awesome. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name correctly, so I'm just going to say 109ski. And he says, hey. Corn Cob says, Gunther better have a 69-year reign. My goodness, that is a very specific number that you have picked, Corn Cob. I can't imagine why you have put those two numbers together. I couldn't possibly know, being a big old Grand Cat. But I think Damien Priest is going to retain in the first match, and I think Gunther is going to win the championship at the Bash at Berlin. Next up, we have Bayley, who is walking in as champion, against the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. And I think it's Nia Jax's time to win the Women's World Heavyweight Championship again. Oh, 109ski says, by the way, I subbed to you too. Oh, thank you. We have a proud new member of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet with us today. That is very, very cool. So, Bayley versus Nia Jax. I think it's Nia Jax's time to win, because I think it would be a shame, it would be a real oversight to have both the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring lose in their title matches. But I think Nia Jax is on the run of her life at the moment. She is seeming like incredibly dominant. She is just a powerhouse, and they've got this really cool gimmick with Tiffany Stratton being her friend now, and Tiffany Stratton being unwilling to cash in the Money in the Bank because she doesn't want to screw up Nia Jax's title match or Nia Jax winning. 109ski says he's hoping that Roman Reigns returns at SummerSlam. I think you will not be disappointed. I think that is exactly what is going to happen. I have here with me a bottle of Ice Pop Prime. In fact, actually, I wonder if I can very quickly show that off to the Grand Cat Grand Fleet in a very, very rare camera reveal. There it is. There is the bottle of Ice Pop Prime. There you can see it in all of its majestic glory. That is all you're getting to see. No face reveals here, not tonight. So currently we have Damian Priest retaining and Nia Jax winning the WWE Women's Championship match. Corn Cobb says there's a grand prime indeed. I personally think that Meta Moon and Ice Pop are the two nice flavors of Prime. I'm not that big a fan of the generic ones, but those are the special ones. Next up, we have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And this is a hot take, but I think... Oh, 109K says, by the way, I got Rey Mysterio Street Fighter card from the 10 cards tokens. Oh, from the 10 cards tokens short that I put up. Yes. From tapping away at the car, it does give you 10 free Street Fighter tokens. So, controversially, I think Liv Morgan is going to defend against Rhea Ripley. Not because Liv Morgan is better than Rhea Ripley. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to turn on Rhea. I think Dominic is going to realize that he likes being treated like a king by Liv rather than being treated as, you know, just the one under Mami by Rhea Ripley. I think that could actually happen. F says, do the cards disappear? They do not. No, you get to keep them. They are just there. 109K says, I'm feeling Rhea will try to talk with Rey. That's interesting. But I could actually see this being the disintegration, or the start of the disintegration of the Judgment Day, because of the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley match and the Damian Priest Gunther match. I think there could be some interesting storylines in amongst there. But I could actually see Liv Morgan retaining the belt. I think Rhea is going to win the belt back, but I think they might try and extend the storyline a bit more. And I think if Rhea just wins the belt back immediately, then it just makes Liv Morgan look pretty weak. And obviously it makes Rhea Ripley look very, very dominant. But, F says, I like your channel. Thank you very much, F. That's very much appreciated. Hopefully you click that subscribe button and you become a new member of his Grand Cat Grand Fleet. That would be very, very cool of you. So next up, after the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley match, we have Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Uwu Champion, versus the new Tribal Cheeks, Solo Sikoa. Yes, not the Tribal Chief, the Tribal Cheeks. Very, very different. And I think Cody Rhodes is going to win this. But I think there's going to be a beatdown after the match, that after Solo loses, he's going to be very, very angry, he's going to be very disappointed, he's going to jump the ring, he's going to get Tama Tonga, he's going to get Tonga Loa, he's going to get Jacob Fatu, he's going to get all this, the Samoan bloodline in there, and I think Roman Reigns is going to come out. And I don't know if Roman Reigns is going to actually help Cody Rhodes, but I think Roman Reigns will stare down Solo Sikoa, and everyone will be like, oh. Because I think you can have Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, and it might even be Jimmy and Jey Uso join back with Roman Reigns, but as faces now. And I don't think you need the title to make that a huge match. I could actually see Survivor Series War Games being headlined by Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline versus Roman Reigns and the old bloodline. I could see that happening. I could even also see Sami Zayn returning as the honorary Us, as the fourth member, so that it's a 4-on-4, so that it's Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. I could see that being the main event of Survivor Series War Games. Next up, we have the WWE United States Champion, Logan Paul, who is currently being sued out of existence, versus the one and only LA Knight. Yeah. and I think they're going to put the belt on LA Knight. I think Logan Paul is going to be very busy because he has been quite naughty and he has scammed people with his advice. And let's see, 109k says, The Grand Cat, I have a question. Do you think Jay and Jimmy will make up? I could 100% see it. I could see. Also, it doesn't mention it here, but there is a tag title match that Tongaloa and Jacob Fatu are going for. They won the Gauntlet match on SmackDown. I thought the tag title match was supposed to happen on SummerSlam, but maybe it's going to happen the SmackDown after SummerSlam or the SmackDown before SummerSlam. But I think Jacob Fatu and Tongaloa are going to win the tag titles, and I could actually see Jimmy and Jey Uso fighting them for the tag team championships. And I think that would be huge if that happens. I think that would be very, very cool. So, yeah, I think it's time for Logan Paul to give up the United States Championship, let LA Knight hold on to it, and let LA Knight actually defend it on TV. 109k says, How do you get SummerSlam cards? I don't have one yet. Well, you have to be SummerSlam tier in order to get the SummerSlam cards. But if you're looking for SummerSlam cards, I recommend joining a wonderful team, not unlike the Grand Cats team. And from there, you'll get SummerSlam 24 cards, every single team Road to Glory, every single team ring domination, you'll get SummerSlam 24 cards, and you'll also get a chance of pulling a SummerSlam 24 card from every single team battleground that you win. So if you want to join my team, all you have to do is go into the description of this video, click the link to my Discord server, and then once you're in the Discord server, just say, Hi, I'm a fan of the Grand Cat, and I would like to join your team, and someone in the server will bring you into Soul World Order 2, which is one of my teams. And then if you do a good enough job there, then you will eventually be upgraded to Soul World Order 1, where you'll be on the same team as the big old The Grand Cat himself. Both teams are SummerSlam 24, so you don't worry, you'll get yourself SummerSlam 24 cards from joining the team. 109k says, I'ma be right back, I'ma try. Well, maybe we've got a new teammate right there. And that's very, very cool. So I think Logan Paul is going to lose the belt to LA Knight. Next up, we have Sami Zayn against Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship for a second time. And I think Braun Breaker is going to win. The reason I think Braun Breaker is going to win, I thought Braun Breaker was going to win at the last pay-per-view, but from what I've heard, apparently they wanted Braun Breaker to win the belt on a bigger show. So I think SummerSlam is the larger show that they want to go for. And I think it is now Braun Breaker's time to win that Intercontinental Championship on the biggest summer of the year, or the biggest party of the summer even, because it's not WrestleMania, and they're pretending it's WrestleMania, and it's really not. But I think Braun Breaker is going to win the belt against Sami Zayn. And then we have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a singles match with Seth freaking Rollins as a special guest referee. Baron Von Joy says Braun's getting his SummerSlam moment. 109k says back. And I don't have Discord downloaded yet, but I'm downloading it right now. Oh, wonderful. That's very, very cool of you. So, CM Punk versus DM Hunk he is a visionary, he is a revolutionary, he is a referee, he is Seth freaking Rollins as a special guest referee. This one's a coin flip. I could see this going either way. I 100% think that Drew McIntyre deserves a win after being screwed over at WrestleMania, being screwed over at Clash of the Castle in his hometown of Glasgow, or well, he's from Ayr, but Scotland. Being screwed over once again after winning the Money in the Bank and cashing it in, and being screwed over by CM Punk yet again. 3 times that he basically had his hands on the World Heavyweight Championship, and it was dragged out of his hands. 109k says, How do you get so much credits? I actually have made multiple videos on this. It is from the offer wall and from playing Raid Shadow Legends. And all those videos are still up on the channel. You can go and check them out, and you can do it yourself. You can have that tremendous amount of credits yourself, good sir. So go out there and go and grab them for yourself. But of course, wait until there is a ×2 multiplier on the offer wall, and you will get the maximum amount of rewards from it. So, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I kind of want Drew McIntyre to win. That might be biased because I am, of course, a big old Scottish grandcat. But I think for the feud to continue, it makes more sense if CM Punk wins. This is also CM Punk's first one-on-one match in WWE in 10 years. He was part of the Royal Rumble where he tore his tricep. So, I mean, there's that if you want to count that. 109K says, how do you get energy tokens? Sorry for interrupting. Literally just winning any match will give you an energy token. You can do it through Wild, you can do it through PvP bouts, you can do it through whatever you want. They all give you energy tokens. So, the other thing is Drew McIntyre still has CM Punk's little bracelet. You know, the bracelet that says AJ and it's got CM Punk's dog's name on it. So I could see CM Punk. The fact that CM Punk hasn't had a one-on-one match seems unlikely that he would lose his first match back. It also makes sense in the story because CM Punk could get his victory over Drew McIntyre, get back his little bracelet, and then, you know, basically declare himself the winner or whatever. And they could also have CM Punk win with shenanigans with Seth freaking Rollins as a special guest referee. Maybe Seth Rollins fast counts Drew McIntyre. Maybe Seth Rollins refuses to disqualify CM Punk. Or maybe Seth Rollins sees CM Punk tapping out and just refuses to call for the bell. Or maybe Seth Rollins actually curb stomps Drew McIntyre to give CM Punk the win. There's a lot of things that could play in. I really don't see Seth freaking Rollins being an impartial referee and not doing anything. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous. So I think Seth Rollins really needs to be involved in the match in some way, and it all depends on where they're going with this feud. I think CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is really the biggest feud of the Future Royalty says, hi, Grandcat. Hello, Future Royalty. It's very, very nice of you to come along. 109K says, when I was trying to get Ray, I was saying land on Jamie right now, this instant. Future Royalty says, Io is winning at SummerSlam. She doesn't even have a match, Future Royalty. I don't know how Io's winning or who Io's even winning against. Maybe she'll take on Chung Lee. I don't know. Or maybe Robocop. Who knows? So, in terms of big old Grand Cat's predictions, I think Damian Priest is going to retain the belt against Gunther. I think it is Nia Jax's time to beat Bayley and win the Women's Championship. I could see Liv Morgan beating Rhea Ripley through shenanigans involving Dominic Mysterio. I think Cody Rhodes absolutely 100% defends the belt against Solo Sikoa. I don't see Solo Sikoa winning the belt right now. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen at WrestleMania or such. I think it's time for LA Knight to win the belt off of Logan Paul. Maybe Logan Paul will win because it is in Cleveland and that is the hometown of Logan Paul. So maybe, but I mean, they had Drew McIntyre losing his hometown of Scotland, so that doesn't mean anything. Then I think Braun Breaker wins the belt off of Sami Zayn, and with CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, it hurts to say, but I think CM Punk might beat Drew because it's his first match back in 10 years, and I think for the feud to continue, Drew McIntyre has to remain hateful and remain incited. And if Drew McIntyre wins and he's happy and he's ended the feud with CM Punk, then what does CM Punk do after that, and what does Drew McIntyre do after that. Whereas if CM Punk beats Drew McIntyre, then you might see Drew McIntyre start to interfere and ruin CM Punk's chances of getting a number one contendership for the World Championship, or even just interfering to cost him matches for the sake of it. We could see any number of things with that. But I think CM Punk maybe wins this match at SummerSlam. So let's put the predictions in. Now that we're ready. Did the game freeze? Whoa. I think the stream may have frozen. Wow. I'm tapping on everything here, and nothing's working. 109K says what? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, there isn't even any audio. Wow. That is crazy. 109K says it's okay, you still got us. Okay, I am going to pause the stream for just a second, see if we can get WD Supercard back on, and then I'm going to unpause the stream, and then we're going to see what happens after that. So I'll be back in just a second, folks. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, it looks like the Supercard is managing to reload itself, hopefully. Okay, we are back. That was weird that it stopped like that. Okay, so I think that was because I had Robocop in there. Okay, so who do we have? Tama Tonga should be winning the tag titles, but apparently he's not booked on the show, so whatever. I don't think The Rock is booked for the show either, neither is Undertaker nor Randy Orton. So we just need to keep going down. I think Liv Morgan is actually going to defend the belt against Rhea Ripley, so I'm going to put Liv Morgan in there. Let's see who is actually in here. The True Hulkster says... Oh, well, let's see. Future Royal says, Grand Cats, if I come to the UK, can we get crunk? We shall see, Future Royalty. We shall see. The True Hulkster says, Seth and Punk's still on the back burner. After all, he inadvertently cost Seth any future World Championship matches when he screwed over Drew at Money in the Bank. He did indeed. Where a nice case says, the Grand Cat, can you play with me in tag team play? I shall not. I am going to go for a snooze after this. I'm still awake from yesterday. Future Royal says, Liv is mid. I 100% agree with you. However, I think that due to the shenanigans of Dominic Mysterio, and I could see Dominic turning on Rhea Ripley, I think that Liv is going to retain. So let's keep going through until we find someone else that we think is actually going to win a match on here. Tiffany Stratton could cash in the Money in the Bank, but I don't see it. I do kind of want Drew McIntyre to win, but it makes sense for CM Punk to win, so I can't put Drew McIntyre in there. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, I think is indeed going to retain, so we shall put him in there. And I think LA Knight is going to win the belt as well. So we're going to throw him in there. I think he's going to win the United States Championship. I don't see Jury or Rob Van Dam being at the show, nor Rhea. I think Bayley is losing to Nia Jax, so I'm not going to put her in there. That's weird that it's Gunther and Damien Priest are both double heroics for Royal Rumble 24. It's also weird that I don't have a better Damien Priest. I did have a fortified 1 Enigma Damien Priest, but he wasn't good enough to stay in my team. I do have a SummerSlam 24 Damien Priest, but he's currently level 0, which means that his points are lower. So I think we're going to put in this Royal Rumble 24 Damien Priest here. Tech said, finally made it to a stream. I believe in the Grand Cat. It's really hard to click with one hand because I have to hold the phone as well. Winner Nightsky says, I predict Randy is going to RKO Rhea in SummerSlam. That's a hell of a prediction. Future Royalty said, if you saw me saying anything in the Discord saying how Liv is cute, that wasn't me. That was my evil twin. Ah, of course. That would be past royalty. Past poverty. Past property. Maybe that sounds right. Future Royal says EO and then Arrow. Winner Nice says the Grand Cat. Do you think Randy is going to RKO Rhea at SummerSlam? I would honestly be shocked if you are correct on that one. The True Hulkster says, I'm going to go even more nonsense. Dom teases the Rhea betrayal, but stays loyal, and it's Finn who helps Liv win. Ah, well, we have seen some collaboration between Finn and Liv. Some questionable things backstage. Will Trammell says, on to Heroic Giants Unleashed. I'm already on the Heroic. I've almost finished the Heroic upgrade, actually. Corn Cob says, past poverty is wild. That is a wild suggestion and statement. But let us continue going through our cards to determine who else we think is going to be there and is going to win a match at SummerSlam. If I go past anyone, make sure to point them out for me. I don't think Rhea is winning. There is CM Punk. There's one Charles Montgomery Punk. And unfortunately, I do think CM Punk is going to win. So we're going to put him in there. It's not what I want to happen. I would be very, very happy if Drew McIntyre won. I would be very happy to be proven wrong. But everything in my head, everything from watching wrestling since 1999, which is 25 years. Oh my god. That's a long time to watching wrestling. Everything in my wrestling knowledge tells me that it's probably going to be CM Punk that wins. Bailey, nope. Becky, nope. Electra Lopez, Kevin Owens, Kurt Angle, Kairi Sane. There's Braun Breaker. And then, of course, there's M. Bison. And there's my pro M. Bison. Because we've got two of them. Nope, I think the next one is going to be big old Braun Breaker himself. So there we are. There are my predictions. So once again, to go over it for everyone, I think Damien Priest will defend the belt against Gunther. I think Nia Jax is beating Bayley. I think Liv Morgan defends against Rhea Ripley, either through the help of Dominic Mysterio or through the help of Finn Balor, as the Baron suggested. I think Cody Rhodes has to retain the belt against Solo Sikoa. I think it would be the upset of the century if Solo Sikoa wins the undisputed WWE Championship. It's SummerSlam in the first match against Cody. I think that would be crazy. I think it is time for Logan Paul to drop the belt to one LA Knight. Yeah! Even if it is in Cleveland, the hometown of the Prime Minister of Prime himself, Logan Paul. I think that it is LA Knight's time. I think Logan Paul is quite busy, and also Logan Paul is being sued by half the planet, so I think he needs a little bit of time to get his affairs in order to try and fight that at Carnegie Hall. Then we have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker should have won the title at the last pay-per-view, but apparently they wanted to hold it off for the bigger pay-per-view so that it was a bigger impact. And I think now is the time that Braun Breaker wins the belt off of Sami Zayn. Honestly, I don't know why Sami Zayn has the belt in the first place. It should have been Chad Gable that won it. I do think Chad Gable's current storyline is pretty cool, that he's turned heel and everything. But Sami Zayn doesn't feel like he's done anything with the belt other than defeating Gunther, defending against Chad Gable, getting some random fights with Big Bronson Reed, and now he's currently, well, he had that kind of sort of feud with Ilya Dragunov where they were both good guys and they just wanted to prove who was the better one, and then that got interfered by Braun Breaker and such. So now we're back to Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn for a second time. And I think it just makes more sense for Braun Breaker to be the Intercontinental Champion. And I think Braun Breaker needs to hold that belt for a decent while and just really dominate the roster with it. And then we have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I want to go on record saying that I really want Drew McIntyre to win. However, I have also been a huge CM Punk fan since pretty much since he originally debuted, because I still remember the Survivor Series where CM Punk tagged with D-Generation X and two other people, and the fans weren't chanting DX. They were chanting CM Punk, and this was before CM Punk had actually done anything. This is, I think, back when CM Punk was maybe still in the WWE ECW. So since that point, and then being the voice of the voiceless, even the Straight Edge Society stuff, CM Punk was always really, really good, really, really entertaining. And it was disappointing when he did leave professional wrestling for quite some time. I was very excited when he showed up on AEW, and he had an amazing run in AEW, and then legitimately beat the crap out of Jack Perry. But I think CM Punk has a lot of really good, really big storylines that he can still continue on with. So, but I think I would be very, very surprised if Drew McIntyre managed to beat CM Punk. I think if Drew McIntyre beat CM Punk, Seth Rollins would need to turn heel. And I'm not sure how the match goes, but now I think there was a time that Stone Cold was against someone, and it was either Vince or it was Shane that was the special guest referee, and they were 100% not going to count the 3 count for Stone Cold getting the win. And in the end, the way that Stone Cold won was he stunnered his opponent, I think it was Undertaker, and then he stunnered the referee, I think it was Shane, and then he pins Undertaker and grabs Shane's unconscious hand and slaps the ring 3 times, and then Stone Cold stands up and he motions for the bell to ring, and he just declares that he has retained the belt. There was also another time that Stone Cold had to relinquish the World Championship, and there was a title match between Undertaker and Kane to determine who would be the new champion for the vacated belt, and Stone Cold was made to be the special guest referee, and Vince McMahon told Stone Cold that if you don't count a winner, then you will be fired. And the match ends with Stone Cold stunning both Undertaker and Kane, and then counts the 3 count on both of them and declares himself the winner and walks away with the belt. And then the very next night on Raw, Vince McMahon fires him, and then Stone Cold, no longer part of the company, shows up to WWE Raw with a gun. It was a crazy time. So I could also see the situation where Seth Rollins just declares himself the winner, and that, there's shenanigans that way where Drew McIntyre and CM Punk don't get a definitive win against one another. I think it would be such a waste if Seth Rollins doesn't do something. I think the finish to the match has to be Seth Rollins gets involved heavily in some way, and I think regardless of what way it goes down, it's probably CM Punk that's going to win, especially if CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is the main event of SummerSlam, which it seems to be, judging by the match card on Wikipedia. They seem to have Damian Priest versus Gunther as the opening match, and they've got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre as the finale, the big final match. And I think it makes sense because I think CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre has the most heated rivalry out of all the rivalries in WWE at the moment. Let me just read some of the chat now that I've went over my things. Let me see here. Let me see, where are we? Future Royalty says, Liv wants Finn, she never crossed his face out on Raw. Oh, did she not? I didn't realise that. I also saw that Finn was the one who kept the... He kept the hotel key. Future Royalty says, CM Punk, Chick Magnet Punk, DM Hunk. James says, wait, is this live right now? It is indeed live right now, James. 109k says, another prediction, Judgment Day will be separated in 2025. James says, oh, it is. Finally made it. Congratulations, James. You've made it to a live stream. Future Royalty says, I miss AJ Lee. She beats Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. That would be a crazy storyline that you have just said there, Future Royalty. Tech says, any thoughts or opinions on why Vega might have been completely left out of the Street Fighter event? Well, there's quite a lot of characters that are missed out. It's not just Vega. I mean, Sagat, Balrog, and Vega, they are 3 of the 4 emperors that were left out of the game. There's no Charlie. There's obviously no Evil Ryu. There's no Adon. There's no Gen. There's no Remy. There's a lot of characters that have been left out of Street Fighter, and I think they just wanted to... I mean, there isn't any DJ, there is no T-Hawk, there's no Fei Long. Yeah, there's no Fei Long. I was just going over my head whether there's a Fei Long card or not. There wasn't. So there's quite a few cards that are... There's quite a few Street Fighter characters that are missing, and in fact, is Vega even in Street Fighter 6? I know he's in Street Fighter 5. I'm not sure if he's in Street Fighter 6. I don't think Skat's in Street Fighter 6 either, so I think that might be why Vega was left out. But yeah, there's a couple of characters from Street Fighter 6 that have also been left out that didn't seem to really make the cutting room floor, which is very, very strange. Will Tramo says, how dare you get 2 before me? I assume he is talking about the M Bison that I have got. I've got myself a Pro M Bison, and once I get him pro'd up, I will be showing that off in a separate video. Future Rod says, Sammy is so underrated since his NXT days. Actually, this is a very good point, Future Royalty. When Sami Zayn was in NXT, I really wanted him to be main event to get into that world title picture, and then he got up to main roster and they killed him. They made him so terrible, and then they made him the manager for the Artist Collective for quite a while. That was Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, and then they had him as the comedy sidekick to Roman Reigns, and you had him as the comedy sidekick character to Kevin Owens for a little while as well. Yeah, like, there was a lot of time that Sami Zayn just was not treated correctly. That they were like, oh yeah, he's the joke character, he's the funny guy. It's exactly the same thing they did with Dean Ambrose. And you saw a tremendous difference with Jon Moxley in AEW. Although Jon Moxley has largely lost a lot of luster at this point. He is not quite the main eventer that he once was. But yeah, Sami Zayn, I think he's managed to rekindle some of that. But Certainly when Sami Zayn was in NXT, he was a house of fire, to say the least. He was the most over wrestler probably in the world when he was going for the NXT World Championship against Bo Dallas. I even remember the whole big thing where he was going to use the chair, and I remember the announcer, it might have been Corey Graves, saying, "No, Sammy, not like this. Don't do it. Don't do it." And he wants to use the chair. He wants that NXT title so badly, and he knows that Bo Dallas will do whatever he wants. You know, he'll cheat in whatever way he can, and he throws the chair away, and he's like, "Screw it. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to lower myself. I'm going to just go for it." And hell of a kick, Blue Thunder powerbomb, I think a second hell of a kick, and then he gets the belt from Bo Dallas. And it was such a huge, huge moment in NXT back at that point. But I haven't seen that kind of energy or that passion for Sami Zayn since, which is a real shame because he can absolutely do it. David Wehy says, "No, don't take Robocop out." Hey, if Robocop had a match, he would 100% win. He was Sting's greatest tag team partner. 109K says, "The Grand Cat, I'm asleep now. It's 1:14 a.m. in the morning at night. See ya." Well, thank you for coming along to the stream, 109. I do appreciate it. It looks like we have a new member of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet, so I'm always very, very happy to see that. Will Trammell says, "Opponents are being searched for as SWO2 does their last testing team stomping ground." Ah, very good. Sammy Jojo writes in a language that unfortunately I cannot read, but thank you for coming along to the stream, Sammy Dojo. It is very, very nice to see you here. Will Trammell says, "I just got a second M Bison." Whoa, very, very strong. In this very live stream as well. Very cool, Will Trammell. That will be an excellent pro for you. The True Hulkster says, "Charles Montgomery Phillips isn't losing his first match back." Yes, I don't think so. I think he is indeed going to get his one match against... He's going to get his one first win against Drew McIntyre, and I think Drew McIntyre is going to get his payback a little bit down the line. Tech says, "Hopefully with the positive feedback we give, a second season of Street Fighter characters will come someday." Yes, there's quite a few characters that have been left out that I think people would really, really enjoy. I also would not mind if we got another couple of SummerSlam 24 cards. Like, I don't know why... Well, I do understand why Ryu and Ken were made lower tier cards, because they wanted to make Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods as Ryu and Ken into Enigma cards. But still, I would very much appreciate it if they made some higher level SummerSlam 24, like maybe like a powerful Ryu card or something, or, you know, specifically Ryu, Ken, Akuma, like the Shotokan characters, because those are the ones that are my personal favourites. I also think it's a little bit strange that people like Jamie are like 2 tiers above Ken. I think that's a little bit crazy. So, but I do think it's pretty cool that they have made Bison the strongest character. David says Robocop has the most devastating moonsault. Could you imagine Robocop doing a moonsault? There should be a wrestling match between Robocop and Darth Vader, because they are very, very similar to one another. But that is going to be it for my little predictions once again, folks. Let's just go over them very, very quickly here right at the very end. I think Damian Priest will defend against Gunther. I think Nia Jax is beating Bayley. I think Liv Morgan is defending against Rhea Ripley through shenanigans. I think Cody Rhodes has to retain the WWE Undisputed Championship. I think Logan Paul is losing the belt to LA Knight. I think Braun Breaker's time to shine is now as he takes the Intercontinental Championship off of Sami Zayn. And I think CM Punk is going to somehow, by hook or by crook, win the match against Drew McIntyre. But I hope that's not the end of the feud, and I hope that it is going to continue. And with that said, folks, that is going to be the end of this live stream. I'm going to continue doing the heroic Giants Unleashed. You can see there we're onto Baron Corbin. Sorry, we have done quite a few matches and our milestones. We've got ourselves our Baron Corbin. We've got our BFAB, and we are closing in on that heroic upgrade of that big dog himself, not Baron Corbin. Sorry, Braun Breaker. My goodness. So that is going to be it for this little video, folks. Tech says, thanks for streaming. Thank you all for coming along to the stream, for all wandering along to the Grand Cat's channel at this particular time. It is currently 6:30 in the afternoon here, so it is an unusual time for me to stream. So it is very, very nice of you all to come along. We still have 3 days and 3 hours left to get the heroic upgrade. And of course, I shall show you right here. There is our Pro M Bison himself, which is very, very cool. Actually, one of the really cool things they could do is they could do throwback Street Fighter cards, like M Bison in his original red military uniform, Ryu without the beard, Ken in his original karate gi and such. I think that would be cool, and release that as SummerSlam 24 cards. I think that would be a cool way that they could continue the Street Fighter crossovers, because even in Street Fighter 6, generally the second costume is the original attires for all of the older Street Fighter characters. So that is something that they could do. That would be very, very cool indeed. But that is going to be it for this little video, folks. I really hope that you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And yeah, we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.